said he would. So darling, dry your eyes. So many other guys would give the world, I'm sure, to wear the shoes he wore. Oh, come on, smile a little smile for me.
Okay, hey you fans of American popular culture of the 20th century. I finally made it, 56 years to the month. It's been driving me nuts forever where the late great Jeffrey Hunter was laid to rest. We're way above the San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles at Glen Haven Memorial Cemetery. Here's a little roundabout shot. We're way above LA. And this cemetery was founded in 1940, and at age 42 we lost you too soon, Jeffrey. And Emily joined him 22 years later in 1991, and they buried Jeffrey May 31st, 1969 on a Saturday, a couple of days after Memorial Day weekend, 1969. And here's Emily, his beloved. Jesse Brewer from General Hospital for 28 years. And if you're curious what that means at S1, that means he was a seaman, first class, in the U.S. Navy. In 1945, he joined the Navy right after he graduated from high school in Wisconsin, and he was there a year, and they trained him to be a naval radar man. And the war ended that August 1945, so from what I understand, he probably would have ended up staying a whole year, and then he matriculated at Northwestern University in 1946. Then he graduated in 1949, and that whole time he was in high school in Wisconsin, he was doing a summer theater stock in high school throughout that whole time period in his teens. And then when he went to Northwestern University, he did a lot of plays for the university productions, and of course he belonged to another summer theater stock. And he would they would go to, I think they would play in Pennsylvania. And then he got his degree in speech, and then he transferred to UCLA, where he was going to get his major in radio. And then he did a couple of productions at UCLA. And when he was casted in an Arthur Miller play called All My Sons, 20th Century Fox talent scouts, they saw him, and then they alerted Darryl F. Zanuck, and then he signed him in 1950 and changed his name. And he used to go by Hank with his friends, but of course professionally he was Jeffrey Hunter. They changed his name, and I just want to say that you have to see him in Red Skies of Montana. Now that's an amazing film with Richard Widmark. What they're doing in the movie is they're training them how to be smoke jumpers. So when there's a fire in the forest, they parachute out near the fire, and they show a scene where he's tied up to a telephone pole, they look like, and all the whole team, they're actually doing back bends to strengthen their back and front chain muscles. It's really amazing. You see a young Jeffrey Hunter. I think that came out in 1951, and man, he was really powerful back then because he was doing these back bends with his legs tied to the trunk. And apparently I guess that was the way that they used to train smoke jumpers back then. And then another favorite movie of mine is No Down Payment. I loved him in that film, and I actually went to the street where the houses were in the movie, and they're still there. They're still extant, and that you got to see that movie. You have to see it. No Down Payment with Cameron Mitchell, Joanne Woodward. Fabulous movie. In fact, it came out in 1957, and Barbara Rush, who he was married to from 1950 to 1955, she was starring in that film. Patricia Owen, she played his wife. And then Tony Randall was in that. Who else? Fabulous film. And then a lot of people liked him in Hell to Eternity. He played the great Guy Gabaldon. So many movies, and of course, us baby boomers, The Big Event, Easter Week, throughout the 60s, King of Kings. And then I have to admit, I was really shocked when I found out he was dead that morning in Norwalk, California. And ever since then, I go, where did he live? Where's he buried? I could never forget the guy. I was always obsessed with movies growing up. I think because I was always amazed at how they could memorize pages and pages of dialogue, script. I was always impressed with memory retention, and just never had the guts to be an actor myself. But Jeffrey, wherever you're at, good night, sweet prince, and Emily, wherever you're at, good night, sweet princess. And you were fantastic in General Hospital. And I remember throughout the 60s and 70s and 80s, anytime you were home sick or didn't go to work or didn't go to school, you'd always turn the channel and you could never miss those big doe eyes of Emily. Jesse Brewer, 7th floor, nurses station. So here you go, you fans all over the world, the final resting place of the great Jeffrey Hunter. We lost you so young, Jeffrey. And I just want to say a few little factoids. In the other video, I said where he lived when he died. I said that he was the last thing he did for Hollywood was Insight, and I think I said that he did it in. I think I said that he had taped it at CBS Studios a couple of days before he died. And then when I went back and I googled that episode he did, the poker game, it said that it aired January 1st, 1969. So now I just want to say another thing too, which is I think it's kind of weird. Now everybody knows that Jeffrey Hunter did the pilot for Star Trek, and he did the pilot called The Cage. And now everybody knows when he Dusty, his wife, told them that he was a movie star and not a TV star, they didn't air the Cage. And then I thought it was very synchronistic that William Shatner ended up, of course, pinch hitting for him in Star Trek. And then one more factoid about that. Now he said, they said in an article from Movie Land that I saw recently, another one, Emily said that weekend before he died, he had signed on to a movie with Vince Edwards called Band of Brothers. Now, the way I figured it out was he must have been signed to the TV movie Soul Survivor that came out January 1970, and it was originally called Band of Brothers, and it was about a B-25 that overshot its base in North Africa, and then it crash landed. I thought it was synchronistic again that the role that Jeffrey was casted in, that, well, again, William Shatner pinch hitted for him. I mean, what are the odds? And then the first movie that Jeffrey ever did at 20th Century Fox was called 14 Hours, and then Richard Basehart was the main character in that film. And in that TV movie, Band of Brothers, that came out to be Sole Survivor, Richard Basehart was the main character. And so there's a little bit of synchronicity in Jeffrey's life with William Shatner. And so apparently that was the last contract that he signed before he died that weekend in 1969. And the reason why there was business being taken, you know, being taken care of by Jeffrey the weekend of Memorial Day 1969, because I looked it up and I found out that in 1969 Memorial Day wasn't even a national holiday. So okay, so that's a couple of factoids. And then I forgot to say that when he was in Insight, the poker game, the only character I forgot to add was Don Dubbins, a character actor from the 60s. So that's a couple of little things that I wanted to interpolate. Okay, so here you go. All the world you can see. And I know there's a lot of people that have already come and taken photographs and put them on Google, but I think that this way of learning is three-dimensional, and it's way better to get the panoramic situation. Much easier to figure out in space where everything is situated. Okay, so thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe to my channel, and I'll be seeing ya.